What up? What up? Welcome to the Crown and Stitch podcast. My name is Nick Ingvall with my guys Dexter and Keith. Talk about some fitteds, some snapbacks, maybe some obscure hats. We're going to get into talking about storing hats, the many ways that you can store hats, displaying them. You know, I don't want to give too much away. We'll get into that, but let's see how you guys doing first before we get into everything else.
Doing great, man. Doing good.
I'm doing good too. I think Keith's doing a lot better now that he's finally come back around to the white tee.
You know what? I feel better. I feel like I'm back in my my natural state. Got to have the white tee homeostasis going on.
Oh man, yeah, it's good to be back chatting with you guys. I'm a little excited about my new pickup for this episode, so I'm ready to get into it if you guys are.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This is sort of like an on-camera unboxing even. So this Haven here, let me do this real quick. Haven Court Workshop is actually a company that was that Todd is friends with the guys that own it, and they make some really, really nice stuff. Todd is aka T Yeezy. He's the co-host of the Exhaust Notes podcast. If you haven't listened to it, we do a Formula One podcast every week.
Better check it out.
They do these wild logos.
So I love those.
Yeah, like it's just it's like they do like kind of their own thing, and it's got like the like their logo here on the back.
Damn.
Inside, kind of the same vibes. Haven Court.
How's it
2020. Fit? Like, I mean, the details are super dope, right?
Yeah.
Nah, that's
how's
nice.
the fit though? Is it fitting like?
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to pull off the mic and or the headphones and everything, but yeah, like I mean, I would say it's pretty much what you would expect. So, it's wild too. Like when I started looking at it, I don't know if you guys can see this, but like I love the like S being not like the S is completely different. It's almost like a different font than the F. Normally I would say like that's not really my vibe, but just because it's like it's different, you know, it's like
it fits.
Cool to add to the rotation. So Todd sent me this one. Thanks, Todd. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like the level of where I want to get to with where we're going with this podcast. I would love to be making hats like this and kind of doing our own little thing and our own little twists on brands. But like, you know, Warriors colors, Giants kind of logo. I mean,
except we believed Warriors, right?
Yeah.
There.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. It's a good era. You had to be there, you know?
I've seen them in the A's one like that too, and both of them look cool. I like that little added like shooting star thing around the logo. Like, I don't know, it's original. It kind of looks like the original logos, but they, you know, like you said, they put their own little twist on it. Turned out really nice.
I think Todd has the A's one I've seen, and then I forget who else. Somebody else has one that we all know from probably from the Discord community. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. I mean, I think it's super dope. I love seeing people just like get creative with things like that.
Yeah, no, that's dope. My new pickup. This is from Sports World. This is I think they're called a Blood Moon.
Damn,
I wanted the COVID Mask Pirate. I'm still on the search for those. Those sell out instantly every time they drop. It doesn't matter what colors. So if anyone has one, let me know. I will buy it from you. 7.5. But yeah, I really like that. The color scheme on that one. That one's just the navy blue with burgundy. Like I said, I'm heavy on the burgundy. I feel like I say that every podcast now, but every episode, but it's one of the go-tos.
Dripping in burgundy for sure. All right, so I got a little hat club pickup here. They had a recent collection they put together for all the smokers called the Rolling Papers pack. And this is a Seattle Mariners 2001 All-Star Game, and it's gold. And I think this is based on some like papers they had back in the day, or I guess they still have them, and they were like gold leaf or something. I mean, we don't have to get into paraphernalia and all that type of shit, but I just like it. It's a very nice hat, black and gold, and yeah, that's why it's a new pickup and not a kicks and fits because I don't have any gold shoes.
Yeah, good one. It's a good one though. Again, I kind of messed up. I didn't talk about what we were rocking, so we're gonna roll right back through it. I'm rocking this Giants hat that Joe. Shout out to Joe for supporting everything we do. He has been like the super fan that I didn't know I needed in life, and I cannot be more appreciative of your support, Joe. It means the world to me. The text, the comments, the support in all shapes and sizes and forms. Every time I see your name pop up someplace, I get a smile on my face, and I'm genuinely appreciative of your support. Sent this one to me. It's kind of like a Carhartt looking upper, that like kind of like off light brown khaki color, and a little bit of dark blue. It's got the 60. Oops, I'm on the wrong side. It's got the 60-year patch on the side for the Giants, which is one of my favorites. Yeah, it's same on the underbill, like a little like that deep blue purplish kind of vibe. I'm stoked with it. It's a good looking hat. I feel like I need to get like an actual like Carhartt something to go with it,
There you go. You know what's funny is like on camera too, it almost looks like a deeper purple, and then when you mix it with that Carhartt color, I'm gonna call that one the peanut butter and jelly. It looks like a peanut butter and jelly hat to me.
Yeah. It's like a blueberry jelly though,
There you go.
Like
yeah, there you go.
Dark blue with a little hint of purplish,
Yep.
There you go. What I'm rocking today is I'm gonna mess this up. This is the Heartthrob from Hat Club. This is the Colorado Rockies with the 25th anniversary patch. And funny story is when I picked this hat up from Dexter, that was the first time we met, and started talking hats with him. So this one, especially since we started the podcast, has a little bit of a sentimental value to it, knowing that this kind of bred and spawned this whole thing, or at least started to get it kicked off. So I appreciate it, Dexter, and it's a dope looking hat. You got the pink crown, black brim, gray undervisor. And with the gold hits too on the side patch, and then around the mountains on the Rockies. It's a very good looking hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hit up Benjamin from Hat Club I was like, yo, I got to get this Heartthrob. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, how many you want? I was like, 2. He's like, all right. He's like, are you getting one for somebody else? I was like, well, you asked. Yeah, sure. Right. And he's like, well, I really just want to hook you up. And I was like, all right. Well, it's like my homie also wants one. He's like, all right, it's good. It's all good. Right. So I was like, Rockies 7.5, Giants 7 5/8. Done and done. And yeah, I guess that is kind of maybe what spiraled us into having this podcast, right? And you have a point there. Because I asked him, I was like, what? I was like, man, what hat is that? What's that called again? I completely forgot. That was like a year ago-ish, But I have on the coked out Detroit Tiger. I guess my light's a little bright here. With the, what was this called again? Sugar Shack pack.
Yes.
So I got the Sugar Shack pin, and then I just bought a bunch of all their random Hat Club colored logos, and there happens to be some pink and blue in here. So, and it's the, I don't even know, Detroit Tiger Stadium patch. I don't know. But yeah, super dope hat.
One of the greatest logos ever.
So, top 5 for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that. Yep.
They got to bring that back. That should be the primary logo.
Yeah.
And that pin is wild too. I love the pin on that one. The Sugar Shack
awesome.
pins.
Yep. It's funny because like, hell, we probably all talked. I mean, we probably all talked for a couple of years. Like, I mean, Dexter and I talked for years on Twitter, and I don't know how the hat thing really never popped up prior to this. Like we have definitely even like thinking about like the sneaker conversations we've had in the Discord and like the community calls and trivia nights and all that stuff. Like, I'm surprised it took this long for it to all kind of come back around, but hey, maybe that's why it had to happen that way so we could get this podcast going. So
yeah,
good stuff.
Man.
So
last
So last episode we talked a little bit about cleaning hats and the do's and don'ts and the things that we I guess would recommend you avoid. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about on this episode is more about how you store your hats and how you take care of them, because I've been on the show with you guys for 6-7 episodes now, and every time I see in the background you got a little nice little display, you got the vibe going behind you, so I don't have that yet. I'm working on it, looking at ways to do it. But I think we should talk about some hat storage and how we kind of, prevent any of those dust ghouls and goblins from getting too deep into the wool on our fitteds. Because if you've ever left out a hat in let's say a place like living in LA or living in the Bay or Sacramento, pollution can kind of kick your ass from time to time, especially in the valley up here. There's pollen that you don't even realize is out there, but all you got to do is leave a hat out on like a balcony or even in the house sometimes for like a week straight.
Wildfires too.
Wildfires. Yeah. Like you come back and it's like, okay, cool. I got a new layer of shit on my hat.
Oh man.
So what do you guys, how do you guys go about storing the hats? Like, what are you guys using? What do you think is the best approach for people that are listening and watching?
You know what? I have a couple different methods, so I'm just gonna run through them semi quick. The first one, which is the quickest, cheapest, and easiest, are these shoe boxes from the Container Store. The little plastic shoe boxes. I want to say they run maybe only like $6, and you could fit probably like 10, 11 hats in them. Maybe a few less depending on the head size, maybe about like 8 or 9. But, I buy them in like packs of 5 just so I have a couple extra ones on deck. And I use those too for like
usually, sir.
What'd you say?
What's the price usually for one of those?
Like I think they're like $6 a piece, and I think the more you buy, they get a little cheaper. You might get a little discount for buying in semi bulk. And what I use those for too is like, if you want to keep like collections of teams together, stuff like that, it's good for separating different collections, So like I have one with Niners hats, one with Warriors hats, just and a couple miscellaneous ones. But just to start off, having quick, easy, cheap, just something that like Nick said, to keep the dust off and keep everything contained. The next one, which is probably my favorite, are these cat boxes. Ooh, let me get in the camera here. And the cool thing about these is they have the flip up top, and this thing will slide out so you can get to the back pretty easily. And on top, they have like little magnetic notches on top. So these stack perfectly and they stick to each other. So you can stack them pretty high. I wouldn't stack anything other than these on top of them, but they're connectable. They're a little bit more pricey. They're probably about $50 a piece, but I don't know. Yeah. And those ones, they hold, depending on the hat size, I wouldn't say approximately 10, 11, maybe 12 hats if you got a smaller head. But I feel like it looks super dope, to have a few of them stacked up, and it shows off the collection nice. Those are from Catbox. I found them on IG. I just saw a random ad and I clicked on it. And, so I don't buy those quite as often, but it's definitely nice, a little bit more luxurious than the Container Store little plastic shoe boxes. And last one is the little travel carrier from Hat Club.
Oh yeah,
just a little 6-cat carrier. You go on vacation, anything like that, zip up. They kind of have like a little hard outer shell, so your hats aren't getting smushed, they're not getting dirty, and you can take them on the go.
Yeah, that's a good one. I need to get one of those carriers because I definitely have smashed a few hats just trying to carry them outside of luggage and stuff. That structure is crucial.
Yeah, no, they're definitely convenient and useful.
What was the fancy one called?
It's called a cat box, or the cat box. That's what it is. I think they have an IG page. You can find them online, and they sell some sneaker containers and stuff too. But I mostly just go to them for the cat boxes.
Yeah, it looks really dope. I mean, it looks. Yeah. It's probably out of my price range because I'd rather have another hat, but definitely worth a look. It seems like so.
Yeah, you could sacrifice a hat to store. What'd you say? 6, 7, 8 hats.
Those ones they hold probably closer to like 10. They're probably somewhere between 9 and 12, depending on the size.
Yeah, I'm doing the math in my head. I'm thinking like, okay, if I've got 120 or so hats, $50 a pop, 12 of them. Yeah, like I got to spend like $500-$600 just to get everything in the same thing.
That's why you got to diversify. You can't throw all the hats in there, but you got a few special ones that you want to keep extra nice and show off a little bit. Maybe 1 or 2. I'm up to 6, I think, and hopefully I don't have to buy any anytime soon. But chances are I probably will.
Hey, like the way things are going, we're all gonna have like complete walls behind us of fitteds because I feel like we're buying hats even in between episodes. Like we're texting each other. Oh, I got this too. That like we haven't even talked about on the podcast. So we either got to do more podcast episodes so people can see all the stuff we buy, or we got to cut back on the spending.
I think I've bought 8 hats since the last time we recorded.
Holy shit! He's going hard in the paint.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to, man.
Quick question, Keith. Do they have tinted or blacked out cases?
They do. They have blacked out. They have almost every color. That's what I forgot to mention too. Like literally every color of the rainbow. They have that tinted plastic. So yeah, if you want like a black one to kind of protect from like sunlight and stuff like that, if you have in your room, if you got the afternoon sun shining in, you don't want it to get if you leave a hat in the sun too long, it kind of gets faded and stuff.
It gets bleached. Yep.
You get that sun bleach. So yeah, they definitely have every color.
I get darker, hat gets lighter.
It's funny how that works, right?
Yeah.
Right. Seriously.
I get redder.
But so my storage situation is I got these from the Container Store, and as Keith was saying, I got like a deal because I bought 6, and they probably were maybe $8 to $10 a piece. And they're not specific for hats or anything. They're just, containers, probably more for shoe people. But they fit probably 8 to 10 hats in each. And I don't use them necessarily for like storage from out of the elements or anything. I do kind of, but it's more because like when I moved from San Francisco to Oakland, I was like, all right, I need to hook up my little setup here. And I'll just get something to display my hats. I got some shoes and shoe boxes behind me and everything. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But also, got to have the 30 duffel bag.
There you go.
So I have one of these in the box. I haven't even busted out yet. And I got another one over here that was full of hats until we started podcasting. I had to pull them all out, and I've just been lazy to put them all back in. But then also, yes, the traveling case.
Oh, nice.
Has tag still on. I've never used because I haven't done a whole lot of traveling where I need to have 6 hats at one time, but coming soon. Pictures will be on Crown and Stitch. Me on a beach somewhere with a hat on.
I want to see you on the beach with a 30 cap, with a 30 duffel, 30 hats, laying on the beach getting some sun.
I think I'll be arrested. They're like, what is wrong with this crazy ass man over here? But other than that, I have boxes, just a box full of hats. I have hats sitting out. I have hats. I've bought containers randomly and put hats in them, like storage unit little things. I have this one thing I got from, I think it was IKEA, and it was like this black thing and it had like I think it was actually for shoes. But obviously, my shoes aren't going to fit in what the average shoe is going to fit in. Like, whenever you buy something that's supposed to be generalized for shoes, it doesn't fit shoes. If it's like Keds or something, or ladies' flats or something, it's not going to fit a size 12 Jordan 1. It's not happening. So the shoes wouldn't fit in there, but the hats fit in perfectly. So I could fit I think I have like 30 or 40 hats in there. And those are like my old hats. Like, I got some shit from like 10, 15 years ago. Like, I was talking about the little fleece flap hats. I got some of those in there, like all that stuff. Obscure hats are coming. So yeah, I got a lot of various things just, to keep them out of the sun, keep them out of the dust, because just like any other material, your purse, your jacket, your sweatshirt, your hat, your shoes, the sun and the elements will slowly deteriorate it,
Yeah. That's a great point. I mean, I am not currently using it, but in a previous place I lived when I was living in LA before we moved up to Sacramento, I was using those those cheap like hang things, like they're shoe hangers for the closet, right? But like you said, shoes don't fit in there. I wear a size 13. There's no way any shoes are going to stay, let alone like stay on the hanger rod, right? Because they weigh 30 pounds compared to like you said, a pair of Keds or something. But I used that for a long time for hats because you could put 15, 20 of them on a shelf and be able to like actually stack them in there without them crushing each other, which was nice. The other thing I would suggest, just the boxes that people send this stuff in, man. Like, I don't have any shame in just being like, yo, look, it's better to put them in those boxes and stack those boxes than it is to take them out and stack them elsewhere, because you're inevitably going to get something's going to happen. It's going to rest funny. It's going to stretch. It's going to get crushed, whatever that thing is that you don't want happening. And a lot of the boxes that people are shipping in are like just really sturdy, you can see it behind Dexter, right? The Hat Club boxes, the new ones say, like, I forget the saying that's on all these guys' different boxes, but like, it's kind of cool. And if you put them together in a unique way, it actually would make a cool display, like to like have them. I could see kind of the, almost like the checkerboard type stacking and stuff too, where you have some out, like you guys have seen, if you're a sneaker history listener, you've probably seen Travis's background, right? The way he slides his boxes out and sets a shoe out. I think that's clean, and he's just using the boxes they come in. But I was going to ask the 30 case carriers, like those come in all black too, because like that one that you have it seemed like it's like translucent, right? Or
that is
transparent.
It's black with clear, so you can see the ones. But I think, Keith, they have had a plastic one that was black, right? All blacked out, maybe.
I want to say you're right. They've had a few different colors, but I can't remember whether the plastic was tinted certain colors or not. But I want to say yes.
Because the reason why I ask is because I like kind of to Dexter's point, I've got so many hats that I just don't wear that I'm only going into them probably in future episodes of the podcast. I'm not trying to like have them out all the time, but I'm not trying to get rid of them either. So like for me, I'd rather have it completely like blacked out because, I don't want some weird fade stuff happening to it. We've all grabbed something off the shelf at, take your pick, right? But I think of like lids in the mall, and like one of the, if you have one of the hats on the front or the back of the thing, it's like, oh, well, like there's this line of either dust, or maybe if it's one of the stores that's actually near one of the doors, you have like almost like a sun fade line on some of those hats. And I just try to avoid that at all costs because one, I'm so lazy. Like I need to think about it ahead of time and be like, yo, zip all this up, pretend like literally just give me a coffin, pretend it's all dead to me, throw it in the back of the closet, and I'm going to come back to it in like 2 years and I'm going to be so stoked because I haven't seen it in 2 years that it feels new again. But like, I end up like leaving things out too often also. So like, I'm kind of thinking like, what can I do to get something like that where it's like, you know, a big chunk of my collection, you know, like 30, maybe even 230 packs, right? Like where it's like, okay, I can stash these away and maybe rotate every few months as opposed to, okay, I've got like right now I've got like a shelf that I use that's just open, which I don't really like, but I'm rotating through like almost daily, right? Wearing something different or pulling stuff out for the show. And then I've kind of got another like closed like drawer closet thing that like it's not for hats in any way, but it's like keeps everything out of the light. It's kind of hidden, you know, like I can fit probably, I mean, there's probably 40, 50 plus in there, but it would be nice to have them all in one spot too. And I should say too, like if you've listened to the Sneaker History podcast, you know that we're good friends and have a great relationship with the folks at Sneaker Throne. You can get a discount on stuff at Sneaker Throne. Anything on the Sneaker Throne site, you can get 10% off if you use the code history, and we get a little bit of kickback from that. But they came out with a hat throne last year, and it sold out. Their products are really dope. I can't remember if I don't believe the hat throne has the LEDs, but the Sneaker Thrones have the LEDs, and I think that's a really interesting way to kind of combine the two. Because we're talking about kicks and fits every episode, right? And I think once that comes back around, they're making some slight improvements on the original version. Not that it wasn't great; they had the opportunity. There was shipping delays; they were going to be out of stock no matter what. So they're kind of taking the time to upgrade. And I'll obviously let everybody know when that comes back in stock. But it's definitely a cool piece. It's kind of like the acrylic cat box that you have, Keith, but it's I don't know if it's like an actual wood or if it's like that IKEA kind of like board, like it's like it's almost like cardboard or like foam
like
board or
press
something.
board, yeah,
press board. I can't remember what it's called, but I mean it's heavier though, so it's definitely heavier than IKEA stuff.
They look pretty sturdy.
Yeah, it's got that same slide out vibe, which I like. I can't remember how many hats you can do in it, but definitely something should be on your radar if you're interested in that kind of thing. Their stuff is a little pricey, but I confident in saying like everything I've got from them has been worth it. The LED aspect of it is a cool thing, but like I don't think it's in that, but you could definitely do something like that. And because I think they did black and white. I don't know what other colors are coming, but because it's primarily like a wood based box, and then the front is the like clear, like acrylic front door type thing. It definitely is going to protect a little bit more maybe than the all acrylic, kind of like, Dexter was asking about the different colors, but another great option. And I think, there's probably stuff that we haven't seen. So if you know of some storage solutions for hats that we're not thinking about, definitely let us know, because the other part of this, and I don't want to get into this too much because I want to get into like the kicks and fits that we want to share this week. But even the hats outside of fitteds, right? Like I've got a bunch of fedoras. I've got a bunch of like, Gorin Brothers type stuff that I would love to have a better solution for storing that stuff, because they're bulky, but they can't be crushed. You can't be stacking a bunch of stuff on things and you don't have it protected. You're going to end up losing stuff. So
yeah, I feel like if you spend this much money on hats, it doesn't hurt to spend a little money for the storage and keep them nice. Yeah,
totally agree, man. Totally agree.
I might cry if I end up ruining one of my hats. I'd be quite heartbroken.
Hey, I feel the same way about kicks as I do about my fitteds. As long as I'm wearing it, if I ruin it wearing it, I don't have an issue with it at all. Like if I'm wearing something and I spill something on me, or you're at a Giants game and you're in the bleachers and somebody gets a little wild and some nacho cheese gets thrown your way. You got to wear that with pride, man. I was there for whatever that was.
Damage.
Hopefully it wasn't a loss, but
I was gonna say better be a walk-off or something.
But seriously, like I went hiking today, right? And I'm like walking by, like I walked out on a little pier and everything. And I'm just like, I'm out there with fucking Jordans on. I'm not going like too hard of a hike, right? But I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'm like 2 feet from death right now. I can't swim. But I'm like, I'd be pissed. I'd be more mad that I fell in and fucked my shoes up than potentially dying. I was like, man.
Priorities,
man.
right?
Priorities, damn it. I see you next lifetime, but these shoes ain't coming with me,
Oh man. All right. So what are we doing? Kicks and fits this week. What do you guys got for us?
Keith, you go ahead and do it.
Okay. Just because it was handy from last episode, that Red Sox hat again, so I figured I'd grab it because one of the main reasons I bought this hat is because I realized I don't own any gray clothes to go with the cool gray 11, so I figured I had to grab something gray, and of course I don't own any gray t-shirts because all I own is white tees, so had to have a gray hat to match the gray shoes.
So that's a good combo right there.
So start off the hat. This is also a new pickup, the Rolling Papers pack. This is the Grape Swisher Sweet Seattle Pilots.
That is fire.
Right here.
Yeah, that's so good.
Y'all know about those Grape Swisher Sweets. Take it back to 2005 on you. And I don't have a lot of purple shoes, so I have to rock it with these right here. The which I kind of two-toned on them,
Oh, I like that.
These are the.
I've never seen anyone do it like that. That's so tight.
Yeah, that's dope.
I got them like that on both feet. So if you see me walking one way, it look like I got them going that way. But the other way, Lakers, Chicago, Lakers. Chicago.
Yeah, that's dope. So I like that.
There you go. Grape Swisher Sweets. And the hell what he's called? Chicago to LA?
LA to Chicago, yeah.
LA to Chicago, yeah.
It's a good combo. Good combo.
I need more
All right.
need more purple shoes.
Yeah. You can never go wrong with purple, Kings. All right, so I got
Oh.
I know that Dex isn't a fan of the G logo.
Yeah, but G was around for a long time.
It was red underbill. I believe this is from Lids.
The Batterman logo in the back. You got to show that off.
Yeah, the Batterman logo is nice on this one.
Oh my God.
Is that raised or is that flat?
Sick.
Raised. Yeah, it's got the extra outline there too.
I like that.
Side patches is 25 years. Let's see, there we go.
They never
82. Yeah, so red underbill. DJ AM dunks.
Oh. God damn.
Okay. He tried to come through with a walk-off grand slam.
I mean, it's about as perfect as it gets because I don't have in the Discord this week was red shoes, right? And I don't really have a lot of red shoes, but when I saw this hat, the combo was don't get me wrong. At my core, I would still prefer this to be orange instead of red, but it was so good. I mean, the only thing I don't like about this hat is the squatchy is only
I was
gray.
just going to say that. Yeah. You had black that squatchy out.
Yeah, it's
needs a little contrast, huh?
Yeah, but it's still good, a good one. And DJ AM dunks, one of my favorites, just yeah. What else can I say, Sometimes you just got to go hard on them and that's how it is.
Yeah, game 6.
Game over after that one.
Byron Russell's guarding you, and you just shove him out the way. You hit the jumper and retire.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
So that G on the Giants hat, that's what they use. That's a spring training one they use for forever, right? For at least a long time, isn't it? That lower Not lowercase, but
yeah, it started as a spring
right?
training thing, and then it became like a thing that popped up kind of all over the place. I think they've only worn it on field in pre-games, but they definitely had. This is probably 2017 or 2018. They had like an on-field, maybe it was like called a batting practice cap or something.
That's what it was.
It was like the mesh version of that too, but it was basically what they had been wearing at spring training for the previous years. But the spring training hats prior to, I think, 2016, 2017 were actually wool. But I never saw those really released in that G back then. You know, like people weren't buying all the different variations as hard as they are now. And I don't think they licensed that G the way that they do. You know, nowadays, Hat Club, you know, Sports World, Hat Heaven, all these people, they go and they say, hey, we like this variation of your logo. Can we do this, that, and the other to it and release it as a part of this pack? I think my guess is that the Giants were a little more strict about it prior, because even thinking back to, you know, like, let's say, I mean, maybe it's 10 years now, but like the on-field stuff, the variations for the Giants didn't really have much variation, right? It was like, cool, we did a St. Patrick's Day hat, and like we're doing the exact same St. Patrick's Day hat again this year.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know that I wasn't paying attention to every team's on-field stuff like that, but I feel like they were a little more stringent as to who they let partner and do things with the logos throughout that, like maybe 2015 to 2017, or maybe it's even 13 to 2017, where like that logo was all over the spring training stuff, but they just weren't doing like the you couldn't even get it at like the dugout store, right? Where like you could get any color variation of the regular Giants SF logo at the dugout store anytime, basically. So, I mean, hopefully one day we get somebody on from one of the teams that can kind of explain how all of that works, because that's something I think would be really fascinating to have some conversations around. Like, what makes you approve a certain pack, a certain color, you know, like, because like it's all personal preference more than anything once you get outside of the team colors, right? So it's interesting.
I feel like it's almost like the Wild Wild West now. They could use pretty much whatever, but then it's funny you say that too, because like I hear about like certain patches that they're not allowed to use anymore, or just like little stuff like that, and it's like I'm curious of what the reasoning is behind the changes, or behind not being able to use or be able to use some of the stuff, you know?
Yeah, totally. So in a future episode, I don't have it with me, but in a future episode, I'm going to pull out a patch that is near and dear to my heart. We'll have to do a whole episode on patches, because I just think that, like, yeah, those are some really interesting kind of things that the casual hat fan, fitted fan doesn't really, you know, we see some cool stuff and we're like, yeah, that's a dope one. I'd love to have it. I got this because I love this side patch. But there's some really kind of interesting, like, I think, like, interesting history around the side patches that we could probably dig into too. So, but yeah, for a future episode.
Do we have time for an obscure hat?
Do we?
I think we do, don't we?
Let's do it.
Why not?
This is a Chewbacca Wookiee hat with the strap under there, because he's a pilot. I can't fit it on there, but this is
amazing.
This is about the warmest hat in the damn world. Like, this thing, you put this on, you can go. You can be in Alaska for a couple weeks and probably survive. Like, this thing is ridiculous. Big. And it's huge. I'm pretty sure, like, it's supposed to be like a one size fits all, but Nick, you can fit your head in here. I swear to God. Look at this. This thing is massive. So it's amazing. This is my Chewbacca Wookiee hat. There we go. Obscure hat of the day.
This is quickly becoming my favorite segment of the show by far.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm just like starting to picture, like, how did this hat come into Dexter's possession? Like, was he auditioning for like some ice road trucker thing on Discovery Channel, or
how did I get this damn hat?
Did he get
probably
like
one I probably found a Hot Topic or something randomly years ago. Because I have a Chewbacca jacket that I got on a website for like, it was 75% off, right? And it's the same thing. It has like Chewbacca's little like, what's that thing called? Where all the, your bullets and shit all.
Yeah.
But it was in my size. I had one size left. I got that. And then like, I swear to God, a month later, I saw this. I was like, oh, it's just meant to be. You know?
We're gonna need the full Chewbacca fit next episode.
Oh man, it might be okay. I could do it for like 2 seconds because it's too hot, man. It's getting warmer.
Burning up.
It's ridiculous.
Oh man, that's good stuff. All right, guys. Well, I want to let everybody know how they can find you outside of the show.
You can find me at Keith the Sneak with 2 Ks on IG, Crown and Stitch on all platforms, and you can also find me in the Sneaker History Discord. Go join.
You can find me right there, smooth as eggs, on everything. Also, Industry Special Podcast, which is coming back up, and possibly bartending or doing something like that somewhere, shaking drinks. So if you see me, make sure you tip your bartender.
Definitely. You can find me at Nick Ingval on all the platforms, but definitely follow us at Crown and Stitch. Start a conversation with us. Tell us what you like about what we're doing, what you don't like, what we should be doing, what you want us to talk about in an upcoming episode. All that stuff will be super helpful to us. Plus, we just like talking about the shit. So hit us up. We'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.